This is an RX 5700 XT. If you were to look it up on eBay right now, you might could find it anywhere from $120 to $160, depending on how patient you are. It's got 8 gigabytes of VRAM, so it can do pretty good at 1080p and 1440p with the right settings. And today we're going to be testing it in CyberPunk 2077. All right, so the specs we're rocking with to test this graphics card are the i5-12600K, great processor, middle of the road, to at least give us a good idea for gaming, not going to bottleneck this at all, and 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM, and we're running at 5600 megahertz. And of course, GPU-Z shows that we have the 5700 XT there. So let's hop into the games. All right, so now we're going to try CyberPunk 2077. We're at 1440p, and to start with, we're just going to go like ultra settings. Like we can't even do ray tracing on here, but we're going to do ultra settings, no FSR, and just kind of see what our FPS numbers are. And then we'll see if this doesn't give us a 60 FPS experience, then we will try again and see if we can get 60 FPS on CyberPunk at 1440p with this graphics card. And then at the end of the video, we'll run it at 1080p to kind of see what it's like. Okay, so on this first benchmark run, we got around 40 FPS. That's 1440p, sorry. Max settings, like the ultra settings, and I think that's pretty good. No VSync, no FSR. So let's go to our settings menu and let's just go regular ultra default settings. Those automatically turn on FSR, and we'll run that built-in benchmark and see what we can do. A lot of people kind of knock and hate on the RX 5700 XT, or just hate on 8 gigabytes of VRAM in general. But 8 gigabytes of VRAM is really still fairly solid if you have reasonable expectations as far as your FPS numbers go and your settings. Like max settings, 8 gigabytes of VRAM is probably not going to hit very high on anything. It's like story-based games, you know, we're looking at like 30 FPS, which is playable. And with the help of FSR, we got 53.91. So we're going to run one more test just to see if we can get 60 FPS. We're going to go medium settings. Medium settings. Oh, man, I really want to see if we can get it native. So let's go medium settings, no FSR. Now, please stop clicking it too many times. All right, so we ran our final benchmark run. Medium settings, no FSR. We got 64 FPS, which I think is pretty awesome at 1440p. And, you know, we'll go one test max settings just to see what happens. I don't make you watch the whole thing run through. I mean, if you want to see that in future benchmarks, let me know down in the comments. But, you know, I personally would just rather see the FPS numbers, but that's me, you know? You may be different. Y'all let me know down in the comments. This is more about helping you guys out than it is to help me out. So we're going ultra settings, no FSR. We're going to see what our benchmark numbers look like at 1080p. See if we get 60. We only got 30 FPS at 1440p. Or I got 40, I guess, but we'll see what happens when we run it at 30. I don't know why I said 30. It's looking like we're going to get really close to 60 FPS at ultra settings here at 1080p on CyberPunk. I, again, don't think you guys need to watch this whole thing, so that's why I don't talk much during this part, so I can just cut it out real easy and just show you the final FPS numbers. And we got 67.46. That's pretty good, but if you want to see another demanding game with this graphics card, then go watch this video.